getting comfortable here because we're going on a journey. We're going on a journey, my friend. Gemini is getting filled up. It's coming all through this week. And when I first was looking at it, I thought, wow, something wonderful this way comes. That's a play on not a play, but that was what came to my mind, and it's related to Macbeth, right? The witches, they see Macbeth coming and there's, oh, something wicked this way comes. This is not like a witchy energy. It's more like being inspired, right? Inspired. And then I started thinking about muses, and then I started looking up muses. So I'm going down all this rabbit trail. And then are there 3 muses or are there 9 muses? Why is there a muse just dedicated to mime? Seriously? There's a mime muse? Then we went to the fair, dropped off our stuff, and it happened to be, I think it was Marilyn Monroe's birthday the last day or 2 or whatever. My mom likes to bring up this stuff because she learns about things and she likes to tell us stuff. And so she's talking all about Marilyn Monroe and how she was having this tragic life and she was dumped here and there and whatever. She has an orphan and all this stuff. And then she was inspirational, right? She was a muse. She still is. A lot of people were inspired to write books about her, and I couldn't remember how many books there were. So I got here today, I got ready, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look it up. How many books did she inspire? I put in Marilyn Monroe and books into Google, and lo and behold, what came up? Not the books that she inspired, but her library. She had over 400 books, and they were not easy books. There's a picture of her reading in the park, and she's reading Ulysses by James Joyce. That is not an easy book, and she was friends with a lot of the authors. Anyway, it was just so inspiring to see that she was more. The muse, a lot of times, is a passive player. Then it took me on this other rabbit trail because I'm thinking about, well, what about women being inspired by men? Why is it always this female energy, right? The goddess energy, the feminine, all these muses are so feminized. So I found this whole article about poetry and the male muse. It puts the man into a submissive, or maybe he'll feel inferior or something like that. But I just think it's so ridiculous because the female can be definitely inspired by the male. There is inspiration in every single thing. You know who was inspired by men a lot? Joni Mitchell. Joni Mitchell wrote a lot of songs about men. Coyote was inspired by Sam Shepard, whom Mitchell was briefly linked to during Bob Dylan's 1975 to 76 Rolling Thunder Review tour.
Joni wrote this song about this tour, and on this tour, and for this tour.
She was very inspired by Sam Shepard here. There's no comprehending just how close to the bone and the skin and the eyes and the lips you can get and still feel so alone and still feel so related. Like stations in some relay, you're not a hit and run driver, no, racing away. You just picked up a hitcher, a prisoner of the white lines of the freeway. So good.
No regrets, Coyote. We just come from...
So muses can be men, they can be women, they can be the sunrise, anything can be a muse. And this is a week where you can be open to all the variety of muses. It can come from your dog or your cat. It can come anywhere. A muse can be in a song that comes to your mind. Like this morning, the song that came to my mind was Amber. It's the summer-ish, and in where I live, the summer begins. It's called May Gray and June Gloom. And to, a native person, I've lived here my whole life, that is when summer starts. And this song, Amber, from 311, is a song that just feels like, oh, it's summertime. And that song is inspired by a muse of his girlfriend, and he wrote the song about her, and you could just feel it. Like you can, by proxy, get muse energy. So this is a week where we have a lot of that going on. We have Jupiter trine to Pluto. On Sunday, there's all these sextiles happening too, and those are so stimulating. And that's what I'm making this video, making it on Sunday. And so I'm going to talk about Sunday, and that's going to flow. So even if you're watching this after that, it flows into the energy. So that's what I kind of want you to watch. It's not like, oh no, I missed it. It's like, no, watch this as like a wave. This is a wave of energy that we're watching for the whole entire week. So it goes Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We're going to come to the culmination on Thursday with the new moon. So the beginning of this whole story starts off on Sunday, June 2nd, and it's when Jupiter is in Gemini, just entered, and it's hitting a trine with Pluto in Aquarius. This is ideas, thoughts, big ideas though with Jupiter, right? And trines are considered the most positive aspect in astrology. Why? Because it's the flowing energy of a triangle. Now it goes both ways. Jupiter is getting support from Pluto, which is like some depth, some surprise from Aquarius of a genius, Pluto's getting some Jupiter energy, so it's making it more optimistic. It's not as heavy of a Plutonic energy. It's the brighter side of Pluto, so to speak. So if you find some inspiration on Sunday or the days around Sunday, that could be it. You know, like the rabbit trails that I've been talking to you about, following those until you get to the point where you're like, whoa, I just see that in a completely different way. Like Marilyn Monroe, thinking about her having 400 books and reading Ulysses. It's like, oh, that's so different. It's so mind-opening. It's a surprise. You might explore or discover something new that just turns you on, a philosophy, an idea, a concept, a new way of doing things. That's the Aquarius transformation, metamorphosis. That's what Pluto's always trying to get us to do, to die to something so that something new can be born. And this is in the best way possible. So it's a desire inside of you that could be getting sparked. And when we've got Jupiter involved and Pluto, there's kind of a hero's journey, a quest, but a really deep one, like going into the deep and coming back out with something interesting. Also on Sunday today, we're getting significant sextiles. Now, sextile is another really positive aspect. A sextile is a 60 degree, and it's the nature of Venus. So it's stimulating. It's like, oh, that feels so good. Let's meet, let's chat. You have information, I have information. We'll build on that. It's just nice. The sextiles are going to be the Sun and Venus sextiling the North Node in Aries, and Sun and Venus are coming into a cazimi this whole entire week. So that's what's making it really interesting. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But the Sun and Venus are going to shine some light and some love. The North Node story in Aries is one of individuation. It's one of healing the identity wound. And how do we do that? It's by encouraging us to heal and move on, face some truths about ourselves and not let it hold us back anymore. It's a building of self-reliance. That's this general story that each of us need to do. And it depends on where it is in your chart, because that'll give you more clues to build into it. Like, where's my identity being challenged and where do I need to heal in this way? It'll have to do with the different planets that are involved in your chart, and it'll have to do with the houses. And that's where a good astrologer or learning more about astrology can help you to figure those little details out. So that sextile of the Sun and Venus to the North Node is asking for some personal, authentic expression, being proud of who you are. It's something that we need to understand, right? The identity wound is okay. We all have to have one. If we didn't, then we'd all be saints, right? We all have it. And there's always room for improvement. We can't improve any of those things until we've accepted them fully, that they're part of us. Like, yeah, I got that thing and I accept it. And until we do that, we're just doing surface work. It's really, putting lipstick on a pig kind of thing. It just doesn't get us very far down the road towards our goal, whatever the goal is for you. I mean, for me, it's to become the best version of my individual, unique self. And that's what I would want for you as well. The second sextile that we have flavoring this week is Mercury at the end of Taurus, sextiling Neptune in Pisces. Now, that's the end degrees for both of them, so it's a very mature combination. It's not youthful and folly and like, let's go play in an imagination world and have a lot of fun. It's like, let's go deep into this imagination world and bring some universal love, some mysticism, like the lessons we've learned. That's the kind of thing. The communication, the mindscape is getting a lot more of that deep aha moment. So you can see how all these are kind of playing together. It's very beautiful. It's almost like a symphony when you think about it. Have a conversation with someone you enjoy, especially on higher topics, higher meaning. It'd be a lovely thing to do it out in nature if you can. Have a picnic or go to an outdoor cafe, have a chat. Maybe pick up that book. I started reading Walden this last week because my kid came home and he's talking about transcendentalism that he's learning at school, like the one thing they've actually taught him. He's like, that's me, Mom. That's just like, I just want to be just like that. So I'm like, I've had this Walden book and I've never read it. So I've been working through that. Also, that's related to the natural world and finding beauty there. Very Walden. Monday, June 3rd, the story continues. There's more Muse action. Mercury is in Gemini, enters Gemini. That's the big deal because there's this huge pileup of planets. When all these planets are in one sign, it's called a stellium. All of them are already there. Their sun is there, Venus is there, Jupiter there, and the moon is going to be entering as well. And then Mercury shows up. All of them that came in to Gemini have also had that trine aspect with Pluto. So there's a lot of interchange of ideas and thoughts and not surface level stuff. Anytime we talk about Pluto, it's like, go deep or go home. Mercury trine Pluto. This is that very supportive energy. Pluto in Aquarius is next level, finding the concept, getting this inspiration, following these ideas and thoughts. The next day, Mercury comes in, is like, oh, what you got? I'm ready. Let's go. I am in my home sign. I am fully powered up. Let's learn. And Jupiter and Pluto had that contact that brought the idea. Mercury's like, yeah, let's explore, gather info, let the curiosity loose. Let's run, let's have fun, let's play, let's search. And so Mercury's back in a very young, fresh, extremely ready to go in Gemini. Another thing that Mercury and Pluto bring together is a mental intensity. Like you can really think deeply around this time, this whole week. You know, I'm not going to just limit it to one day. You can bring a passion for information, probing deeply, psychological motivations, looking into those, interests like that. And it's a good time for persuasive conversation. If you have this pursuit, this something that sparked, like maybe you want to learn something, or you want to go back to school, or you want to pursue something yourself, or a different career, whatever is coming up for you, and you might need to. That's the reality of it, right? Sometimes we have to talk to our family members and say, hey, I'm interested in doing this. And this could be a good time to find the words easily to express what you want and maybe get it. Tuesday, June 4th, story continues. Gemini is all lit up, shining bright. This is a meeting kind of day because Jupiter and Mercury have their conjunction. They come together, and Venus is entering this extended cazimi with the sun. This is the first day that it goes exact. It's at 14 degrees. I looked at it and it's like the cazimi happens on Tuesday at 14 degrees, but Wednesday they're still in a cazimi. It's at 15 degrees. Venus and the sun. And then on Thursday, they're still in a cazimi. They're moving at the same speed. It's at 16 degrees, and the moon also is there. So this is a 3-day cazimi of Venus. Jupiter and Mercury together. They're actually oppositional in general. Like if you look at the dignity schemes and everything, they're always on the opposite ends. Mercury is about data, finding information, exploring, communicating, and curiosity. And Jupiter is meaning and wisdom and pursuit of the bigger quest. Seemingly that they are pulled apart, but when you put them together, you kind of have this incredible blend of information building into meaning and wisdom, a blending of the balance of both. That's going to last until they meet up again in June of 2025. With this being in Gemini, though, it sets this seed where Mercury is kind of the boss. Mercury is in charge. Jupiter is in an expanding and supporting role to Mercury in this equation. Broad-minded curiosity, excellent for commerce, marketplace, buying and selling, but quick. Like the opportunity comes and then the opportunity's gone. Changeable. This whole year is going to probably be like that. The marketplace is going to be expanded in some way, and there could be a lot of things to do with technology, expanding that, and the way that it'll increase our communication and our ability to communicate. Thursday, June 6th. Okay, here we go. This is where the Muses have helped us in our questing for what seeds we want to set. Then the goddess Venus is there center stage to help plant our ideas into very fertile ground. The new moon in Gemini happens at 16 degrees, 17 seconds. It's the sun and the moon on the same degree. It's in the party-packed house. We got both the benefics, Venus and Jupiter. We got Mercury, who's the ruler. And it's all happening on the same day with Venus in that extended cazimi with the sun and the moon. So the Muses are the opening act, but Venus is the goddess of love and beauty. And it's like, yeah, let's take this love of whatever information is following you, whatever information is calling you, whatever muses are singing to you. Venus in Gemini is all about the beauty of information. What information do you find beautiful? Venus in general is about exchange. So think about it. Venus in Gemini, what's going to find idea exchange beautiful? Communication is beautiful. The way you speak can be beautiful. The way you write can be beautiful. This new moon is really a good time to put some intentions down. So see what I mean about that flow. We got 3 days in a row where all this information could be coming up, all these ideas, the muses could be singing to you, speaking to you. And then we're like, okay, I really want to put this into action. That's a Thursday kind of thing. You can use Thursday to do that. Expand yourself. How do you want to expand your own mind and not be stagnant like the last thing, Gemini? Oh, that would be Gemini hell, would be stagnation, not having enough information to stimulate the mind. This would be an excellent time for any type of communicative thing, especially online, any relation to marketplace, commerce, writing a book, a YouTube channel. If you're into doing something like that, maybe you could start looking into the process of how to make a YouTube channel and what do you need to do to get to that point. What information do you want to pursue? What do you want to share? What do you have to say? A lot of this can have to do with the internet because we're getting that trine from Pluto and Aquarius. Aquarius is a technology sign as well, ideas, big ideas. And so making them happen through the details. Rem Butler does a really good job of blending 3 planets together in his book, The Archetypal Universe. So he says of Sun, Moon, and Venus, them together create an energy of natural grace, spirit and soul, a bright and loving way of being, an easy balance between yin and yang energy. It's like the sun and moon, they meet up every month, but this time they get the goddess, the female energy that runs through every single thing and every single person. It's not just about what gender anything is. That's ridiculous. We all have all of it in us. So who can be a muse? Like I said, anybody, anything. It's all available for inspiration. You can experiment with it right now if you want to put some intentions into the world for manifestation, especially around these topics. That's what's powerful. And there's no better time to do it than now, especially in your Gemini area of your chart. If you are inspired this week and you want to share it with me, I would love to hear about it. I like you just the way you are. I hope you have a really lovely week. I'll talk to you soon.